see or feel this beautiful flower blooming in a field and sense its true nature and sense its life force, but most of all, sense this very natural expression of energy in which there's no forcing, there's no fixing, there's no resistance, there's no perception of inadequacy. It's just blooming. You are also destined to bloom. That blooming that we're speaking of is the realization, while you're still in the human body and still experiencing this human incarnation, the realization that that is not your identity, that that is a vehicle, a vessel, but not your identity. And so we've very much been looking forward to this interaction, and we appreciate your participation with this interaction on this day. And in this particular moment in time, we'd like to discuss once again this topic of awakening, which another way to describe that is the alignment, the connection, and the expression with your true self, your soul self, your higher self. So first of all, the essence of who you truly are is pure consciousness itself. You are an emanation of source. You are a light being. You are literally made of light. And so feel into that truth and feel into when you tune or you become aware of your true identity as this pure light being, this pure consciousness being. Feel into that and feel the illumination, the radiance, but also the sense of neutrality, meaning from this particular standpoint, this witness, this observer standpoint, there is no judgment. So there's a neutrality. And there's also a great deal of what you may describe as a sensation of unconditional love. And so those two ways of describing this energy, nonjudgment and unconditional love, those really are reflective of the same quality, which is being able to be present in this energy that you would describe as love, compassion, and not necessarily judging or evaluating. And then now draw your attention to your human construct. So your human construct or your human avatar, you may wish to speak of it that way, is comprised of, first of all, your physicality, your physical body, and then moving to the more subtle aspects of self, there's the mental body and the emotional body. What we wish for you to understand and notice and observe in this moment is that as you center yourself in this energy field that is the higher self and feel your true identity as the vibration and emanation of unconditional love and non-judgment compassion. As you center yourself there and feel into that, and then redirect your attention towards your human avatar, meaning from that seat of consciousness, from that energy field of non-judgment and love, now you're beginning to observe your human construct. You can see and sense your physical body. You can see and sense your mental body, which is a collection of thought forms. And the emotional body is the energetic charges that accompany those mental thought forms. And then there is the personality. So see if you can, in this moment, just gently, very gently observe your human avatar in a very loving and non-judgmental way. Understanding that it has been through many experiences and just feeling that some of those have been joyful, uplifting, easy, and some have been quite difficult and quite traumatic. And so just feeling with the energy of unconditional love, feel yourself gaze at your human avatar and just feeling into your ability to witness yourself with love and neutrality and understanding, not needing necessarily to change or shift anything about your human self in this moment. So if you could feel into, again, this quality of non-judgment and unconditional love, what you would find is there is no need to shift or change your human self. Of course, the paradox is that as you learn and grow and move and have various experiences, you will shift and change and grow and evolve. However, understand in this moment, very deeply understand, that that's the natural process of living through experiences. And so there's a very, very different energy underlying that than where many of you wind up in this human reality, which is feeling a need to fix or change yourself or feeling a need to fix or change circumstances because there is a false thought form within your mental construct that there's something wrong with you. So really feel the difference there, because what's true is that one scenario that we have offered holds a lot of judgment and density because you are trying to force or fix. And the other in which you are centered as the loving observer. Again, understanding that change is the nature of life and that you will move and grow and change and unfold and evolve. But there's a degree of allowing in that loving observer standpoint. So there's no force and there's no resistance and there's no drive that's stemming from a false belief of inadequacy or unworthiness. Instead, there's just presence, compassion, non-judgment, unconditional love, and a full allowing of the unfoldment of life as it is seeking to move through you. And so just for a moment to illustrate this a little bit deeper, feel into or see or sense even in your mind's eye a beautiful flower in a field of wildflowers. Sense or see or feel this beautiful flower blooming in a field, and sense its true nature and sense its life force, but most of all sense this very natural expression of energy in which there's no forcing, there's no fixing, there's no resistance, there's no perception of inadequacy with this flower. It's just blooming. Because flowers bloom. That's what they do. That's what they are. They're destined to bloom, and so that's what they do. And so understand that from this soul perspective, again, this observer, this witness, this pure consciousness perspective, that in a sense, you are also destined to bloom. You are destined to express your true self through this human avatar, through this human construct. And you have a destiny of blooming. And so that blooming that we're speaking of is this awakening that we have brought to the table many times before. What awakening truly is the realization while you're still in the human body and still experiencing this human incarnation, the realization that that is not your identity, that that is a vehicle, a vessel, but not your identity, and that your true self and your true nature is very much like this flower. There's an intelligence, there's a beauty, there's a field of awareness, there's life force, and then there's this blooming, meaning you will be in your human experience, in your human body, in your human construct, and you'll realize that who you are is so much more than this physical body, this mental, emotional body, this personality, and you'll have a true felt sense of that, meaning that won't be a thought in the mind that I'm more than this body. There will be a feeling, an awareness, a recognition, a truth within you that your true identity is so much more.